This is the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast, where we discuss Miles Morales, the one and only Spider-Man. I'm Zach, and joining me, as always, the man who is only on the island for the snorkeling, Johnny O.
Welcome back to us.
How you doing, man? It's been way too long.
It has been way too long. It's been a month since the last episode's gone up.
And I still haven't actually put it up because I am the worst co-host on this pod.
This is really meta because by the time people get this one, then we'll be talking about the last one, and that one's not even up yet.
By the time people hear the last one, we'll have just recorded this one.
Yeah. But I've been great in my break. How have you been?
I've been swell. In the interim time, It's funny, you asked me about grad school last time, and I was like, nope, haven't heard anything, won't hear anything for a while. And then, like, the very next day, I got accepted. So that was cool.
You're going to be an architect.
I'm going to be an architect. And more than that, I am going to be a Hoosier. And I've been joking ever since I got accepted about I'm going to walk on to Coach Signetti's squad. And,
They need QB.
Maybe it's time for my Heisman. Right. Yeah. Josh Hoover?
Are you allowed to play?
I don't know if grad students are eligible. I mean, every year in college football.
I'm pretty sure they are.
It seems like there's people that graduated in 2018 where they're like, oh, and here comes Carson Beck for his 9th season of eligibility.
Yeah, so dude, I still remember that back from the very old school basketball days. I think IU had somebody that was he played for 7 years on the team somehow. It just doesn't even make sense.
Jordan Hull.
Oh no, I do. He was when I was there.
I feel like he played forever.
Yeah. I read something that IU's starting lineup age was older than 3 NFL teams this year. It was their average age of player was 23 and a half years old.
Huh.
Because we had so many 5th and 6th year seniors.
What NFL teams?
Because I went to IU, so it's
right. Yes.
Yeah, and you're a Hoosier,
wow.
So
That's so new for me. I feel redeemed, honestly. This is the school I wanted to go to.
Yep.
15 years ago.
Longtime webheads will know that Zach had a dynasty IU run on NCAA football back in the day before there was a glitch that just eliminated his...
I corrupted the file and I genuinely screamed, no! But it's all good. We're living in those good times now, baby. Yep. What were we talking about?
Tell me about this architecture stuff.
Oh, well, I got in. It starts in the fall, so obviously I don't really have any concrete information yet, but I have been trying to practice on my own. I'm just doing little doodles of buildings and stuff, and I don't know anything technical. I mean, these are probably dog shit compared to even what I'll be doing after my first semester, but
I'm sure that they are.
Yeah.
Because you're going to learn so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now I'm redesigning a stadium for the Colts. I'm like, okay, if in 20 years, Lucas Oil Stadium is outdated and we want to switch to something else, because that's what NFL teams do nowadays, is these stadiums don't last very long.
Shoddy architecture.
What would I design? And I came up with the concept of a horseshoe-shaped stadium that's outdoor, so you get football weather. The back half of it is a hotel where people can stay at for the games, and then it's all glass exterior, so when you're flying over the city, it looks like you're flying over a blue crystal horseshoe, and that's where the Colts play. And then the rest of the land around the stadium would be repurposed into a park, and there'd be underground parking. So it all looked like a cool, walkable green space. And I was so proud of it, and I showed it to Shyla. And the first thing she said was, oh, you silly man. What about the cold? People aren't going to want to watch football when it's cold. And I'm like, no, this was what I was fixing. It's football weather.
Yeah, but we've had the dome. and the dome again for, 40 years.
Yeah.
Are people going to want to go out to that? You might need a retractable roof.
Well, here's the thing. So it's like when you go to Topgolf, the bays are open to the outside, but there's a heater right above you. I mean, there's no reason if Topgolf can pay for that, there's no reason an NFL stadium can't have that. And I think some of the outdoor ones do.
Yeah. And 20 years from now, global warming, it's not going to be cold anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Everything south of Tennessee will be underwater, and Indiana will be the new Alabama.
Yeah. All right. So Zach's going to architecture school. That's great news.
Yep.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, let's get into these comics. But first, a word from our sponsor, the Indiana University School of Architecture.
Every business says they're better, but the ones that earn and display the BBB seal back it up. It instantly identifies businesses that are committed to operating with integrity, honoring promises, and telling the truth. Makes you wonder why every business doesn't have it. So look for it, because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Are we back?
We're back.
We're back. All right. Which issue do you want? Dude, this is we're wrapping this up. Our divided we fall is this united we stand?
I think this is united we stand.
This is united we stand because
we've united now as a country.
Yeah.
Oh, I fear that politics are not done this episode.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, you guys.
Talking about it all too early.
I'm sorry. The Ultimates is a political comic. I kind of want the second one, dude.
Okay, you can take the second one then, because
awesome.
I loved our start here in the first issue.
Okay, bring us in.
So this is United We Stand issue, or I'm sorry, it's Ultimate Comics The Ultimates issue 17. Now this is not Ultimate Comics Ultimate Spider-Man issue 17. We did that last week, and now Spider-Man is with the Ultimates, right? Zach's taking a drink of his water. Zach, Spider-Man's with the Ultimates, right?
Yes, John, that's correct.
Okay. Modi has our heroes in a bind here on the cover. And
I like how he has David Bowie eyes.
He does look like David Bowie. Sadly, he's passed away, so he can never play Modi in a live action comic.
That's fine. He was a pedophile too.
What?
Did you not know this? I hate to tell you this. Every rock star from the 70s was a pedophile.
But he sure did make some good tunes.
He did. Unfortunately. Unfortunate bops.
All right, page 1. This is a good little hook for us here because we get these two everyday people, and he says, "I'm scared, Linda." Now, right away, I thought this was maybe like Hawkeye's wife, because her name's Linda.
Well, she's played by a woman named Linda, right?
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
She's played by Linda Cardellini, but she's dead in this universe.
How'd that happen?
Black Widow. We didn't read it, but in Ultimates 2...
You told me about this. She killed Hawkeye's family or something.
A double agent, and she kills his family. It's pretty fucked up. I
know. That's so ultimate, dude. He says, "I'm scared, Linda." And she says, "Me too, Ken. But I'm more scared of what might happen if we stand by and do nothing. This country is burning down around us. What's going to happen if the mayhem continues to spread? What's going to happen to our children? It's up to us now, the people. No one else is going to take a stand. We have to be the ones to stop it. We have to join the fight." Wow.
Pretty based.
This is just your everyday people standing up to fascism.
This is genuine text conversations between me and my friends every day now.
And he says, "You're right. I love you. Ready?" And she says, "Ready." And she clocks her shotgun and says, "Hail Hydra."
Ooh.
What a turn.
I was so close to following them to the gates of hell.
What a turn. But okay, can I give a little spoiler for the issue?
Yeah.
Okay, so it turns out Modi is like kind of mind controlling these people. But before you learn that, it is interesting to think about, like, well, is Hydra just like, can they be their own? Does everyone who is a part of Hydra think Hydra is evil and wants to like kill everything? Or, could they just be like, they just think it's like a better system? They think America's corrupt. So maybe there are people like this that are like, this is, we got to join the fight. I thought it was interesting.
I think Hydra is, obviously it spins out of Nazi Germany with like the Red Skull and everything.
That's right.
I think in the comics, it's like a analogy just for like authoritarianism in general. I think whenever it's like the forces of the heroes in America versus Hydra, it's like, well, they want to take your rights and they want to tell you what to do, and it's all in the interest of safety. But really, what does safety mean if you're not free? And so I think these people in this environment, in this world that we've set up here, where like America is pretty much fallen and everything's on fire and people are scared, I could see ordinary people being like, dude, I just want to join this team that says they're going to put everything back to being safe.
Yeah.
I could see that being an effective appeal to people who don't have superpowers and are like watching shit outside their house blow up.
Yeah. You could maybe even draw the parallel between like a politician 8 to 12 years ago saying how we're going to make everything like good how it used to be, and get rid of all these people coming into our neighborhoods, right, Zach?
Right. I wish there was like a succinct term for a type of like political rhetoric that appeals to a mythical past that never actually existed that we need to get back to. We should create some kind of word that describes that so we know to look out for it.
What is it?
Fascism.
Oh.
Welcome to Woke Burger. How'd you like your burger?
Is fascism, does it always have to do with like going back from a mythical time from before? Like it?
Yeah, it's always comes from like
things were better.
Yes. Remember back before X group came in and we were the in group and we controlled everything and everything was right and perfect? Let's get back to that. So we need to get to the, addition by subtraction. We're going to remove the undesirable elements of our society. And sometimes it's like, culturally, sometimes it's like, values or whatever. Like, oh, we're going to go back to traditional family values. None of this like gay shit or whatever. It can be used many different ways, but it when you see it.
Yeah. All right. So now we're on page 2 of the first issue. And we turn the page, and it's not just that family that is doing this. We see a caravan of Hydra tanks and flags and cars. And Modi says, General, when I first asked you what you wanted, you said an army big enough to make the government afraid. Now you have your army. You have your fear. And we cut back to 1 day ago, and Thor is speaking with Modi, because if we remember, we just found out that Modi is Thor's son. We thought he was Loki for a while. And he says, Modi, how did you? And Modi says, you deserted me in the world tree, like an animal buried in the ground, something to be hidden and forgotten. And he tells Thor that time moves differently, and what was maybe only a couple months to Thor was 1,000 years to Modi. And he could see the past and the future. The world tree's weird like that. And he says, I saw what happened, Father. I saw them destroy Asgard. Okay, and then he starts talking about the rune on his ring finger. And does this rune, like, give him powers? He says, he wears this ring, and he says, the rune Orthala from my homeland, heritage, they were robbed of me. So he wants a new empire. That's why he wants to destroy America. And then he says, the reverse meaning of Othala is lack of order, prejudice, clannishness, fear. I'm just exploiting the nature of their true heart.
So what does this sound like that we were just talking about?
Fascism.
Asgard was great. Asgard's gone now. We need to make a new Asgard. We need to make a better Asgard. And Asgard's so good, they forget about the old Asgard.
He did say that.
Yeah.
And Thor
says...
He's
very entitled.
He's very entitled. For spending his entire life in a tree, he feels owed a lot.
This dude has never had to work a day in his life.
Yeah, he hasn't. And he's taking a very childlike stance on this because he would be dead if Thor didn't put him into that tree. You know, he says it himself. He saw them destroy Asgard.
It's like he doesn't realize that. He's not putting the pieces together, that he was not put in that tree as a punishment, but like as an act of love.
Yeah. And Thor says, "End this game, my son. End it before I end it for you." And he says, there cannot be judgment from one as low as you, a father who abandons his son. And Thor tells him, "I only did it to save you." And Modi doesn't care about that. He says, "I am what you have made me. I am the last Asgardian, your only god. And you are a disappointment, father. Now bow and obey." And we see Thor try to fight through whatever Modi's doing. But then he says, "Yes, my son, I obey." So that's why I was thinking maybe it had to do with this rune. Like, I don't know. Maybe Modi's just magic, kind of.
Yeah, and we've seen this rune before in the last issue. Thor landed on something. It was like, huh, that's interesting. It was like burned on top of a trailer truck.
Yeah.
So there definitely is the implication that at least some of the Hydra people, this army that's like marching, Modi's probably influenced them as well.
Yeah. And so now we're a day later, and Modi is walking with some general with Thor behind him. And the general says, "Over 1,000 people have joined us since we started marching. Regular people from surrounding areas. This wouldn't have anything to do with your secret treasure from Project Pegasus, would it?" And Modi tells him that no, they're just attracted to their strength and their cause.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
The scene in Hot Rod where it's the morning of the jump. And they're like walking and it's like inspirational and there's some song playing. And then all of a sudden the whole town is walking behind them and singing along.
Dude, that's like one of my favorite scenes.
I love
like
that.
Chaos erupts.
Yeah. It just takes one guy throwing something through a window and it turns into like a riot.
So Modi tells him that they're going to need these numbers to defeat S.H.I.E.L.D. And the general says, "Don't worry. As soon as we get to Casper," which I guess is a nearby city, he says, "we'll be unstoppable." And Modi says, "Don't be foolish. S.H.I.E.L.D. is already here." And just then we cut to one of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Is that Cassie Lang?
Yes.
And she says, "Now." And we see Cassie, along with a squadron of giant women, get huge and destroy a pretty significant part of this army.
There's like tanks and jeeps and shit flying all over the place.
There's like 70 tanks and jeeps that they destroyed. How big was this army? And Hawkeye, the Impossible, I can't ever think of these. Mrs. Fantastic, Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. Look, Spider-Man's there, and so is Jessica Drew. And they're all fighting and they're charging.
Yeah.
And Sue says, "These Hydra forces are largely inexperienced, but they outnumber us 10-1. Don't let your $1 billion training make you overconfident." Maybe that was someone else saying it, but they're saying it to all those people.
It's like in the earpiece.
Yeah. So while the ground team is fighting, Cap, Tony, and is that Monica Chang? Is that?
Yes.
And she's the new Black Widow.
Correct.
They're on the Hellcarrier. And they're trying to like set up an attack and kind of figure out what's going on. And Tony says there's some sort of signal going through the air that he's never seen it before, but it's on the same frequency as brainwaves. And he hypothesizes that maybe this is what's making people all of a sudden, have such a strong commitment to Hydra. And Monica, just like the general, Monica says if they make it into the city, then their army is going to become too big. We're not going to be able to fight them. And Cap says then we're just going to have to fight like hell to stop them.
It's so funny to me that if you just take the population of Casper, Wyoming, that's like enough people to scare the government. That's kind of hilarious.
I guess I was thinking about it, and I'm like, why would it matter if they get to like one city? But you're right. If he can mind control like everybody in the city, then that'll be a pretty big army.
Casper, Wyoming is not a big city.
And so Cap, Monica, and Tony, they're the last line of defense. And Modi launches the War Machine platoon against our heroes that are on the battleground. And things are not looking good, we can say. They're all kind of hiding in Sue Storm's force field. Are these our soldiers that are dead on the ground?
Yeah, looks like some shield people are getting blown to hell.
And Cap says, we're getting gutted out there. Send me in. And Monica says, negative. You're still the president, and your security is my top priority. And then she tells Tony to stand by because she needs him to read the energy signatures. So these guys on the battlefield, they're not getting very much support. And Hawkeye says, I'm going to kick Tony Stark's ass for inventing these rusty. And then Falcon points up and says, look. And we see Captain America, this star-spangled man with a plan, riding some hover bike in with an American flag behind him.
It's so funny that he's holding the flag.
It's so goofy looking. And the face they cut to of him is like also goofy looking. Then they show everyone like looking up in the air, and they're like, oh, it's supposed to be one of those moments where, Cap rides in and it's like a heroic moment. And I feel like it could be done better.
Yeah, this looks like a parody of itself.
It does. Yeah, and it's too bad.
I have to think that they knew how goofy this looked when they made it. I think they were just having fun.
But they could have made it cool.
This is like the same level of goofiness as he takes the oath of office and then runs over to a fighter jet, catches a baseball, and says, I'm off to save the day.
And Hawkeye looks up and says, you gutsy star-spangled son of a gun. And he says, all right, troops, you just had an honest-to-God inspirational moment with a living legend. Don't ruin it. Let's fight.
They're glazing him so hard,
they
bro.
Are. And unfortunately, almost immediately, Modi also sees this happen, and he tells his War Machine people to fight. And now that I'm reading the text, I think he sends Thor to hit him with some lightning too, because we see a crack-a-thoom.
Yeah, he points and he says, the president, fire. And
Cap gets blasted out of the air.
Dude, he was not riding on that thing for very long at all.
No. So now the president's down, so he's now their top priority. They're like, Iron Man, you got to go get him now. Hawkeye, move in to help get him out.
I wonder who his vice president is.
Has he picked one?
I mean, he would have had to, like, when he takes the oath of office, surely there was someone that was, like, being sworn in as the vice president, too, right?
I don't think it'd be Tony.
No. We know it's not Carol, because she's his secretary of staff.
Yeah. So Tony flies down. They're all looking for Cap now. And he says, Anthony, send out the wasps, find Cap. And then he's surrounded by all of his War Machine bots, and he says, I'll take care of the Tin Men, and does a big explosion and fries them all. That's peak Iron Man.
I think it's funny that he created the War Machines, but those are like what he sells to the government, and he makes sure that his Iron Man suit is still overpowered enough to take all of them out if he needs to.
Well, for something like this.
He saved all the good stuff for himself, and that's kind of funny.
So Cap is down. He's surrounded by Hydra soldiers and Thor and Modi. And Modi says, the president and I have some acquainting to take care of, don't we, Uncle Steven? And Cap looks up and says, Thor, what are you? And Modi tells him that he wants to initiate the terms, or he would initiate the terms of his surrender, but instead he has a better plan. He's going to drag Captain America's lifeless body across America tied to the hood of a truck. And Cap looks up and sees the mind gem in Modi's staff. And he says, that gem, I've seen it before, Project Pegasus. And I think this is Modi's first mistake, because he does a little villain monologue here. And he's like, indeed, the mind gem. And he talks all about the mind gem. And he says, you mortals could never figure out its power, but it called to me for millennia inside the world tree. It belongs to me. It's my birthright. It comes from Asgard. So, as I'm doing another read of this comic right now, I'm thinking that the reason the mind gem called to him is because he already had some like powers to do some mind control stuff.
Yeah, he was like capable of using it somehow.
Yeah,
on account of like being
probably
Thor's
that
son.
That rune Orthala was probably, I don't know, maybe. I'm still stuck on that. Okay, now we get a fun little story from history that I enjoyed. Because Modi says, it comes from me, it's my birthright, for it comes from Asgard. And he tells this story, and he says, from the days when the kingdom was young, Odin, before he was the Allfather, roamed the 9 worlds looking for a challenge. It was said that Hildebard was the most astute giant in Jotunheim. His wisdom and skill created Gambentine, a sword that could not be defeated. But Odin's nimble wits tricked Hildebard's powerful mind. Odin took possession of Gambentine and used the sword's power to steal Hildebard's intelligence. I think I figured out what this story is from the 4 panels that we get.
Okay. What's that?
So, Odin and this giant, they must have been kind of friendly. And it says Odin used his wits to trick him into getting his sword. So I think Odin faked a fight, or maybe he got into a fight with this big wolf, and he was like, oh no, I need the sword to defeat this wolf. And we can see Hildebard looking kind of like, worried in the background. And then the next panel, Odin is walking away with the sword. So I think that's how he tricked him into giving him his sword. And then he just didn't give it back.
Okay, so let's look at this through a historical dialectic lens, and let's see what Modi sees in this. This is the story of his grandfather's empire being born, and it was born through exploitation, right? Might makes right. Odin betrayed whatever his name is, Hildebard. He got the big stick, and then he used it, and what resulted out of that was Asgard, and it was beautiful, and it lasted for thousands of years, and we need to bring it back, but better.
Yes.
It's fascism.
Poor Hildebard. He was just trying to help out his buddy defeat a wolf, and next thing you know, Odin stole his sword and killed him with it. And he said, and then Modi says, but the ardent so he used the sword to steal Hildebard's intelligence, but the ardent intensity of Hildebard's mind was too overwhelming. The fabric of the 9 worlds collapsed on his awareness and delivered to Odin a gift. And we see that Hildebard's intelligence is basically the mind gem. So he must have been really smart, but not smart enough to not get tricked.
Yeah.
By a big dog.
Just smart enough that when he dies, his brain metastasizes into a
gem.
Yeah. A kidney stone.
And Modi says, the tremendous intellectual acuity of that old giant concentrated into one gem. With it, one can persuade any individual to do almost anything at once. Even now, it is persuading your noble citizenry to join our cause. And it still has enough power to break my father's will. And he asks Cap if Cap understands, and he says, perhaps a demonstration is in order. And then he uses the Mind Gem's power on Cassie Lang, and she uses her big gun, because she's a giant lady. She uses her big gun, and she shoots the helicarrier that everyone is on, sending it plummeting towards the earth.
I think she just picked up a tank and used it as a pistol.
Oh, she did. I think she did. I think you're right.
These comics rule.
They do.
This is like the kind of shit I was on when I was 8 years old with my toys.
And Monica Chang is panicking because now the helicarrier is going down over Wyoming, and Modi's looking up and says, a work of art. And Cap says, I don't know what you are, but my people will never give up against monsters like you. Giving up's not in our nature. And Modi says, oh, I forgot you were here. Father, this mortal knows the pride of sin. Please break him of it. And Thor launches into Cap and they have a cool comic book panel of, Thor slamming his hammer down on the shield and the shield radiating it all back. It says Krakathoom, to be continued.
To be concluded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you think of that one?
I liked it. I thought it was a good one.
Yeah. It's a little campy, but I enjoyed it more hearing it from like your perspective, because you really brought out the best elements of it. I think this was a fun one.
It was. Let's see. How about out of your population percent that's joining Hydra?
Oh, like in Casper, Wyoming, 80% of the population joined Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this an 84.
It's an 84%.
It's very 1984. What is our government doing, man?
Dude, I think that's like exactly what I was gonna give it, because I was like, I wanted to give it higher than an 8, but not quite an 8.5.
Right.
So I'll give it an 84% also.
Okay. Awesome. So are we ready to move on to issue 18?
We're ready to move on. Let's conclude this run.
All right. So picking up not where we left off, we see Captain America in a room with Carol, Tony, and Thor, and he's reading a statement. And he's like, "My fellow Americans, the Wyoming invasion failed to halt the Hydra army.
What a jump.
Is our expectation that they will succeed in marching down the Rocky Mountains, dividing the United States, blah, 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 blah. This failure is mine alone, and I take full responsibility. President Steve Rogers." And Thor and Iron Man are like sad, and they're like, wow. And he says, "I wrote it on the helicarrier on the way to Wyoming. I couldn't send our troops into battle if I wasn't prepared to take responsibility for the outcome." And then Tony cracks a smile and says, "Well, it's a good thing you won't have to give that downer of a speech." And Captain America says, "You're right. We did it. We won." And Carol starts to open the door, and she's like, "Gentlemen, are you ready for the victory parade?" What a stark contrast from where we left off.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And you cut to the next page, and I mean, it looks like a Super Bowl parade. I mean, it is like there's ticker tape falling out of the sky. All of the heroes are present. People are smiling, waving American flags, and getting Captain America tattoos.
Well, let's scan the float here. We've got Bobby, Iceman. Yep. Look, Hugh Jackman's there, and Nightcrawler is behind him.
Yes.
And there's Kitty Pryde.
So that's at least 2 X-Men that are supposed to be dead.
I thought, isn't Wolverine dead?
He is, and so is Nightcrawler.
I think that's Colossus there. So there's a lot of X-Men here.
Yeah.
Rogue? I don't know. This is weird to me. The first part of this that I felt was weird was when Cap says, "You're right, we did it, we won." I'm like, that's not a very Captain America thing to say.
Right. If he was Obama, he would say, "This is a call to action. The work isn't done, folks. It starts with me, but it ends with you. Now get out there in your community." No, it's a good time. Everyone's celebrating. This one dude has his face painted like an American flag, which is kind of interesting. And anyways, we see like the TV broadcast reports telling the story, and it says, "After achieving victory in Wyoming, America fell in love with President Cap of the Ultimates. Hydra was driven underground, but not defeated." I'm thinking of this as like a newsreel bulletin in the 40s.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
"They continue to wage war against the citizens of the United States from one coast to another. Able-bodied Americans turned out in droves to enlist in Cap's new guard. They made their intimidating presence known across the country." And so now we see...
this is another one where it's like something's not right.
Yeah, we've literally got ICE agents wearing like Captain America helmets and patches. It says, "President Cap's administration utilized the latest technology to hunt down possible insurgents." And we've got Hornet drones coming into people's houses and killing families. "President Cap's authority allowed him to pursue a lengthy war against Hydra. Martial law stretched into the 3rd year with no end in sight. His promise to achieve victory at any cost." And then we see people like protesting in front of the White House and throwing rocks at officers with riot shields. So it looks like Cap kind of descended into, authoritarianism.
Fascism.
Yeah. Well, I hate to get political on this podcast, John, but Michael Parenti, rest in peace. He actually just died a couple weeks ago. He was like the greatest academic mind on the left. He has argued that liberalism always leads to fascism, because if you are not explicitly against capitalism and colonialism, then you will eventually be co-opted into serving it, and the ultimate end for that is fascism. So I do kind of like this idea that, like, even Captain America, coming out of something like this can overreach his authority in an attempt to, like, protect the status quo.
I was trying to rationalize this also, and I was thinking, well, Captain America has been fighting Hydra for his entire life, so it's not the craziest thing to think that once he got control of the army and everything, he would kind of have a one-track mind. He'd be like, I want to stomp out Hydra. That's like all I care about. And it could, he might start overlooking other things, just wanting to beat Hydra.
And to his credit, I mean, that is a thing the victoring side of any revolution or conflict has to do, is like have some kind of discernment for like avoiding counter-revolutionaries, right? If you win and then you're just immediately kumbaya, like you're allowing the forces that you were just fighting against a chance to reorganize.
Yeah.
But I think what we're seeing here is intentionally it's showing like the pendulum has swung too far in the other direction, and Cap has kind of put everyone in a police state. And we see him sitting in the White House at the Resolute desk, and someone says, Cap, you okay? And then this is strange because we see the person talking to him is an unmasked Peter Parker. And we see quite a few other people in the room, notably the Scarlet Witch and Henry Pym. And both of them should be dead. And Cap says, no, this isn't right. This isn't what we fought for, Peter. This is not what you died for. And he smashes the Resolute desk with his shield and, like, jumps back into reality. And he's like, what? Where am I? And he's back at the fight with Modi and Thor.
Why would Modi's mind control thing make Cap's like hallucination divulge into authoritarianism? If he wanted to keep Captain America in that state, why would we even see that page of like everything going wrong?
Right. It should end with him dancing in his living room with Peggy Carter.
Yes, it should.
Well, we're about to find out because Modi says the mind gem, in the case of my father here, it can bend others to my will, or in your case, it can make your dreams seem real. Unlimited power over your beloved country. So
but that's not Captain America's dream.
I think,
or is it?
At the heart of this story, Modi fundamentally doesn't understand who the Ultimates are. He doesn't understand who his dad is or why he put him in that tree. I think he, misunderstands Captain America. I think he maybe did expect him to stay in that dream. I don't think he thought Cap would have any qualms about it and wake himself up.
Yeah.
And I think Cap says that too, because he says, you don't know me very well, do you? So he's like, yeah, I would never do that with my reign.
Yeah.
And he hits Thor in the head with the shield. And Monica
That's some good capping right there.
Yes.
Breaking out of the trance.
His little mental prison.
Yeah. And I do like that line. You don't know me very well, do you? That's a good one.
Oh, I gotta mention the parade though, because I love the parade. The idea that like they just smash cut into like everyone's cheering for him and they're going down the street. And I know you're never gonna watch it, but one of the best movies I've ever seen is Paprika by Satoshi Kon. And there's a really weird sequence in that where like it's about dreams. It's the movie that inspired Inception. And they would do that. They would trap someone in a pleasant dream until they just die. And it's like kind of like this, pleasant euthanasia kind of thing. And what it is it's like it's a parade where you're just marching and there's just this weird music playing the whole time. And there's all these like little Russian nesting dolls and like frogs and walking microwaves and stuff. And you're on top of this float and it's just sensory overload. And you're just sitting there waving and you're just walking around the entire world. And the parade never stops. And it has no destination. It has no end in sight. You just march until you die. But it looks like such a cool, happy, festive parade. And so I saw that scene and I was like, started playing the Paprika music in my head.
That's interesting. I wonder if that came out before this. I wonder if there was any,
I'm not sure if it inspired this comic at all, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had seen Paprika. It's it's like one of those scenes where once you see it, you never forget it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Monica Chang comes over the earpiece and she's like, "Hey, we're in the helicarrier. We're going down. We're gonna die. We're kind of fucked. Who can help us? Who's gonna catch me?" And she says, "If I let it crash, I will wipe out everything in a 100-mile radius, including the city. I need to bring this flying bomb down on the other side of the mountains." And so she's gonna try and crash land it somewhere safe. So they start kind of internally squabbling over what's important, saving the helicarrier or saving Cap. And to his credit, Hawkeye says, stopping Hydra is the #1 priority. Besides, I heard Cap gave Hitler an uppercut. Wherever he is, I'm sure he's got it under control. And I like that because that's a reference to, like, our universe's Captain America.
That's the very first issue of Captain America ever. He's giving Hitler an uppercut.
Yep, it's the cover of it. Drawn by Jack Kirby, like, well before Marvel even existed. That was an actual comic from the 40s.
Oh, was that the Timely Comics? Isn't that what they used to be called?
It was Timely, yeah. Yeah, there's only 3 characters, I think, that, like, superheroes that precede the Marvel Universe, and it's Captain America, Namor the Submariner, and the Human Torch. And they were Timely characters.
Wow.
And one of the ladies, I think it's the lady we saw in your issue that was in the truck. I think so. She's like got a gun on Hawkeye and she's like, "Call off your ultimates." And meanwhile, Thor is fighting Cap and Modi's like, "Yes, father, kill him, kill him." And Captain America is, he's about to be dead. He's like, he's gonna lose. And he does the whole, "Thor, you're my friend. Remember who you are. You have to fight it." And they kind of build the suspense like, oh, maybe he will, maybe he won't. And he does fight it just long enough for Cap to get his shield back and throw his shield at Modi's staff and break Modi's staff and the Mind Stone. And with the Mind Stone broken, Thor is back under control of himself. And the lady that's pointing her shotgun at Hawkeye also kind of comes back to being lucid, and she's like, "Where the hell am I?" And that makes me think all of these other Hydra people that the heroes have been killing this whole time, those poor people, like, they were like making coffee that morning and then they blacked out, don't remember anything else, and then now they're just dead on a battlefield.
Think how many people died when all the giant people like grew in size and destroyed all those cars and tanks. And those were all just like normal people.
Yeah. We saw the cars and tanks flying around, but there was also bodies flying out of them. It was like they broke open piñatas of people. So now the fight is over. They're like, "Oh my God, these people are putting their weapons down. Something's changed." And Cassie Lang was one of those people that had been, controlled. And so she's like, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And they're like, "You did a bad thing, Cassie. You shot down the helicarrier. You have to catch it. You got to stop it." And I say, "Go deep, Cassie. Go deep." And she starts running like a wide receiver doing a post route in the Super Bowl. And they're like, "She's wide open." A lot of sports metaphors here. And
I don't understand why they're like so hooked on this.
She runs and lays out and makes a fingertip grab of the helicarrier right before it crashes into the mountain. And someone yells, "Touchdown!" So that happened.
Everybody almost died.
Quite a few people did die. There's no way there's not heavy casualties from this all still.
I think it's the funniest part about that scene, thinking about it, is Monica is on the helicarrier that's just crashing. She has no control over it. And she's like, "Go deep, Cassie, go deep. We're wide open here. Come on." Oh, touchdown, you got us.
All right, trips left 54Y spiral on 3, break. I also think it's funny that the helicarrier is actively still exploding as she's catching it. Like, yeah, she might be catching it, but it's still like the people inside, they're still dying from like fires and explosions and stuff.
Everyone knows if you catch it, then it's not going to explode.
Right. And she's like, "Did I do it?" And they're like, "You did great, soldier." Oh, this is Monica Chang. She's like climbing out of the hatch of the helicarrier because apparently she was just right by a window or something. She's like, "Hang tight, I've got an army to lead." And so this is how we know there's still some people who were like Hydra loyalists, because some of them have not laid down their weapons. And the heroes pretty easily dispatch them. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise at this point. It's a hydrogen bomb versus a coughing baby. But one thing I like is we get a big full-page panel of the heroes just absolutely fucking shit up. And it looks like Sam has picked up the tattered flag on a pole that Cap was carrying into battle. And now he's flying around and he's shooting a gun with his left hand and he's holding the flag with his right hand. So
this is Cap's vice president.
Honestly, he might be.
We found him.
He carries the flame. He'll fight for the gospel. I wonder if he's actually left-handed or if he's just shooting his gun wildly inaccurate because the
he's
flag
shooting it
is
with
more
his
important.
right hand.
Oh no, you're right.
But
My
he
bad.
might be left-handed.
He might be left-handed. Either way, I feel like this is not a pistol. I mean, he should be holding it with 2 hands, and he's definitely not, so that he can hold the flag, because that's what matters here. And then Modi is like still kind of crawling around and like sniveling, and he's not going to admit defeat, and he's fighting. And he yells at Thor. Thor's like, "My son, your cataclysm is over." And he's like, "You can't boss me around, Dad. How dare you? You don't give me orders. You're a failed father. You abandoned me to the cruel clutches of the World Tree. Do you know how that feels, to fend for yourself with no one to protect you?"
Here, before you do the next one, look at how he's drawn in the first panel of that scene.
Oh, he looks like a demon.
He does, but then it's not like that with the other one. So do you think that they just drew it fast because he's small? Or
yeah, I think it's like a perspective thing. I don't think that's literally his face.
Okay.
Because it looks like his skin turned into teeth.
Well, it looks like maybe he like reverted to a different form for a second, like how because he's so evil or something. You know, he's a golem
maybe,
looking for the ring.
Like if Loki can kind of take other forms, maybe he can do that. And Thor lifts up his hammer and he says, "You are corrupt and contemptuous. You are a shame to your grandfather Odin." And Modi says, "Father, you will pay for striking down your only son." And Thor does it anyway, because fuck this kid.
Thor straight up murders his son.
Yeah.
It's badass.
It is. Yeah.
I didn't think that they'd do that. That's pretty ultimate.
That is pretty ultimate. I'm proud of him for having the balls to pull the trigger.
Me too.
You remember back when Thor was just a sissy-ass lib?
Yeah.
He wanted to, like, save the trees and shit.
Yeah, he just, like, flew around with doves all day.
Yeah. And now here he is, killing his son for America. Capitalism. God bless him. And Cap's like, "Thor, are you all right?" And Thor is holding the absolutely, like, decimated body of his son. I mean,
the charred remains of Modi.
He looks like Aunt Beru after the stormtroopers visit.
Yep.
And he says, "Don't touch him. For all I have done and all I have failed to do, I am sorry, my son." So he feels bad about it, but, you know, that kid sucked. So he shouldn't feel too bad.
No, that kid did suck.
And then the, like, Hydra general is kind of trying to rally his troops. And some of them are turning on him because they were mind controlled. They didn't want to be there in the first place. And he's like, "I'm in charge here. You fight. We all fight until the country falls." And Cap steps in front of the gun and he's like, Listen, dirtbag, you come at America, you come at me. Take your shot. And he kind of does like a Dirty Harry speech to him. He's like, I'm not bulletproof. Pull the trigger, I might die. But there are millions of people out there just like me who would rather be united than divided. They have tried your brand of poison and they're not buying it. The American people are strong. You don't have what it takes to lead them. You're just a thug. But if you've got guts, pull the trigger. And the guy kind of stammers, and then Cap rocks his shit. He's like, I thought so.
He gives him an uppercut.
He does, yeah. And this guy has a mustache, so it's kind of like a callback to like the uppercutting Hitler thing.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like the big group scene that we get at the end of every Ultimate story where they're all posing together.
I like that Jessica Drew's there. I think Jessica Drew should have her not like a relationship, but I think her and Cap should become friends. That'd probably mean a lot to Cap.
I think so too. I wonder, it sucks that we don't really see her interacting with the Ultimates all that much, even though she like lives with them and fights with them. I wonder how many of them really get that she is like Peter's clone.
Yeah. Probably they don't know.
I think some of them do, but I like Cap was gone for a long time and he just got back in the picture and things have been pretty crazy and hectic. So I don't know that they've actually like formally introduced him to Jessica.
Yeah.
And then the next day at the Triskelion, they're kind of going over the situation and they're like, we've managed to hit the brakes on the secession movement. Some states will be trickier to deal with for others, but for now we're united. And then Monica says, unfortunately, a good deal of the Hydra army melted into the mountains before we could capture them. They remain a threat. And then there's the big question mark, the Asgardian Modi, location unknown. And he's like, unless you want to illuminate us, Thor. And so they apparently don't know that Thor killed Modi. Cap says, that'll do, Monica. He's been through enough. So it seems like this is Cap and Thor's little secret for now. And then Tony says, why all the glum faces? We just fought the second worst civil war this country has ever seen, and we won. We just saved the country, and they love us for it. I don't think this would be the second worst civil war. I feel like this would easily overtake the times of, like, muskets and horses.
I don't think so. It wasn't that big of a fight, was it?
But it was all across the country, and it was with, like, robots and gods and superheroes and nukes.
I guess that's true. I was thinking that when he said it, like second worst civil war, and I was like, well, the writers of the comics wouldn't want to be like, this is worse than slavery.
No, I just meant like death count. I think the death count would be pretty high from this with like modern technology and stuff.
Well, the death count in the first Civil War was so high because it was both sides were Americans.
Yep.
That's why it's got a higher death count than any other war.
I'm just going to say it. I think Americans that own slaves should die.
I think they're not good people.
Yeah.
But I think everyone deserves a second chance.
We're hedging our bets here. John, there's a saying, never argue with someone John Brown would have just shot.
Yep. I still bought all those John Brown books like months ago. Not a one has been cracked open.
I've got a biography of Henry David Thoreau that's been sitting on my desk that I have not opened yet.
Books are for looking at.
Yeah, I'm so good at buying books, dude. Yeah. The day that I can actually lock in and read them,
wow,
I'm going to be unstoppable.
It's going to be like the Limitless pill.
Yeah. Okay, so Tony's just like counting their laurels. He's like, Cap is commander-in-chief. Monica is the #1 spy. The Ultimates make the rules now. War is over. Time to rebuild this glorious country and remind the world why America rocks. Dude, if there was ever a neo-lib-ass sentence, it was that right there. And Carol's like, the mayor of New York has asked again about throwing you a victory parade. And Cap's like, no, Carol. The people know what we did. They know it was for them. We live to fight another day. That's enough reward. We stand together, united. That's all the glory we need. And as long as we do that, whatever comes next, we'll be ready. And we kind of see like a tease where some scientists are like working with a portal and there's a face that kind of starts looking back. We're not going to cover where that goes.
There's a face in the stars. What is it?
I think that's eternity. I think at least in the main comics, that would usually be a clue that it's eternity. But I haven't read those issues.
So you don't know what this is?
I don't.
Okay.
But
the next era is called Reconstruction. So they are really leaning into the Civil War time thing.
Right. Man, I really hope President Cap doesn't go to Ford's Theater to celebrate.
No. I've been there.
Have you?
I've been in the box.
Huh.
Yep. You can look at it and see it, and you can take your turn walking inside it. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
All right. What do we think?
What do we think about this one? I like this one a lot better than I liked yours. I think this one is
a lot better. Wow.
I think this one is a solid 9 to end the series. I really enjoyed the switcheroo at the beginning, because the first time I read it, I honest to God thought, oh no, is that really what happened? They're just gonna
I thought
say,
so too.
We beat him, don't worry about it.
I thought so too. And then once they got into the news ticker, then I was like, this is not, I don't know. At this point, I've seen so many things that pull the bait and switch on you that I was kind of thinking that it was maybe going to do that. But I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, did they really just wrap it up in between issues?
It was a well executed bait and switch. It kind of reminded me of some of the nightmare sequences that Peter went through in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh boy, time to go on my date with Mary Jane. And then it's like, no, motherfucker. Welcome to psychological torture.
Oh, yeah. Aunt May's married to Norman Osborn. Okay, so 9 out of 10 what?
No, you know what? I'm gonna change it.
Oh my gosh.
40 out of 50 states united.
Okay, now 40 out of 50 would be an 8 out of 10. So do you want 45 out of 50?
Okay, yeah, 45 out of 50. They can have North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho.
But then we're losing the Mount Rushmore.
Oh. Honestly, in this universe,
South Dakota.
We need a different Mount Rushmore. We need it to be heroes, because, at this point, what has Teddy Roosevelt done compared to Captain America?
Let's see, who would be the Mount Rushmore? It'd be Cap, obviously.
FDR.
Aunt May.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ant-Man.
And Ant-Man.
We should put the Mount Rushmore, the new Mount Rushmore, directly across from the Mount Rushmore of pieces of work.
Yeah.
It's choose your side, good or evil.
Yeah. Okay, what am I going to rate this one? Both of these issues were good. And I do like seeing Thor just obliterate his son with a big Krakatoum.
It was really satisfying. That was a character we didn't know for very long, but he's just so easy to hate.
Well, it kind of comes out of nowhere, because how many times would you see them be like, he has to stand trial. We'll take him in for this.
Right. I can save him.
Yeah. And Thor's just does a big lightning swing. Just swings his axe right on his head.
Yeah. This kid reminded me of Prince Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, you're just like, someone step on him.
I'll give this one a 42, which is another 84%. So look at that. They both got 42 out of 50 states.
Okay. Right on. Yeah, this was a fun one. I don't think there's any way to not make it political. I mean, I think it's pretty clearly talking about fascism.
Yeah, they did it to themselves. We had no choice.
I'm sorry. We would have loved to have given you guys a good apolitical romp, but it's these woke writers' faults.
Yep. What do we have next time?
Next time we are back in Ultimate Spider-Man. What are we at there? Is it 18 and 19? I can't remember. Oh no, there's 18.1.
So we do have 18.1 of this.
I think we've pretty much finished the story we set out to tell in Ultimates, because we started with the Hickman stuff with the Maker, and then that bled into United We Stand.
This, yeah.
And then moving forward, it's not really going to cross over that heavily into Spider-Man anymore.
Okay, so we did Ultimate. So are we gonna do 18.1
of Spider-Man?
No, that was the Ultimates. There's 18.1.
There's an 18.1 for Spider-Man too. They did it for all of the books that month.
Did we do 16.1? I think it might be 16.1. That's the Spider-Man one, and 18.1 is the Ultimate one.
My God, you're right. Okay, we're doing 16.1, and then we're doing 17 of Ultimate Spider-Man.
So we're not going to do 18.1?
I mean, dude, if we want to read 18.1, I won't stop us. I just don't think we need to.
Okay, then let's not. Let's just go back into Spider-Man. It looks like 16.1. I don't know what that is, but 17. It looks like he's got Jessica Drew on the cover.
Yeah, and they should be pretty related to this story, but it'll tell us more about like Miles's perspective of it.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right, Spider-Man news over. Yeah. I can't wait to get into Spider-Man next week.
Nor can I. So, what else do we have?
I don't know. What else do you have? Let's see. You're into architecture school, which all of the webheads should write Zach a really nice email and make some sort of Art Vandelay joke at him, because he hasn't heard a million of those from me already.
It's not just you. I'm getting them from my dad and a lot of people.
I'm glad that the most famous architect on the entire planet to have ever lived is George Costanza in Seinfeld, pretending to be an architect.
Yep. Yeah, no one says, oh, Zach, you're going to be just like Frank Lloyd Wright or Mies van der Rohe or Santiago Calatrava. It's always you're going to be George Costanza.
Art Vandelay.
Faking a job.
That's funny. Okay, do you have anything left?
I've got a jam of the week. I'm going to shout out Good Flying Birds from right here in Indianapolis. I've been listening to their album Tallulah's Tape a lot lately, and I'm actually a little disappointed, dude. They are playing at State Street Pub the same night that we are seeing Foxy Shazam.
I knew you were about to say that. Now Zach doesn't want to do Foxy Shazam anymore.
No, I do. Here's the thing I wanted to run by you. Sometimes I will figure out, okay, this show on this side of town is going to end early, and this show on this side of town is going to run late, and I can make it in time to see that headlining band. And this is one of those cases where I've like asked them, I'm like, when do you think you guys are going to go on? And they're like, I don't know, maybe like 10 p.m. And I was going to ask you if you would be up for a double dose of rock and roll, and it's only $10 to see Good Flying Birds. If they still haven't started by the time Foxy ends, we would be going from Broad Ripple to State Street. I think it'd be like a 20-minute drive. I was going to see if we wanted to keep the good times rolling and check out this other band.
We can totally say
no.
Foxy Shazam go on?
It says that show starts at like 7, but I don't think they have an opener. Or if they do, they haven't like named them. And they don't play very long headlining sets.
I'll have to get back to you on it.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds like it could be fun, but I'd have to run that by the boss.
Understood. I also have to run it by my boss since she'll be with me.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, what was the jam of the week?
Just the whole album, Tallulah's Tape by Good Flying Birds.
Okay, cool. Thank you to all the webheads for leaving us a review or a comment. You can find us the First Read Ultimate Spy. Oh, I did it. I've done it again.
Happens once an episode, folks.
Yep. You can find us the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast on Spotify or Apple Music or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And you can leave us a comment on Instagram at First Read Podcast. Send us an email at firstreadspidey@gmail.com or find us on YouTube, the First Read Ultimate Spider-Man podcast. See you next week.
See ya.